Hello, my wonderful Coldplay friends out there. I have a very exciting video today. So in my last video, I did a full breakdown of Moon music, which you can check out right here, but I didn't include the extended version. And because so many of you commented that you'd like to hear my thoughts on the extended version, that's what I'm gonna do in this video. But it's a little extra special because I have actually not listened to any of the extended version yet. So in this video, you are going to get a very raw first impression. And one last thing before we get started, I know I mentioned this before, but I just released a new song. So if you'd like to hear that and support me a little bit just by giving it a listen, I'll include a link to that in the description below. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So let's start off with Moon music. Okay, so it is pretty much just the melody, the piano melody, and takes out that first part and all the vocals. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they would do something like this because that piano part is very pretty. It's I mentioned that this song in this section is one of my favorite parts on the full album because it's so uniquely Coldplay. It's so pretty. And it just evokes an emotion, and it evokes this sense that you get and you understand the entire album from this song. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously there's not much to talk about since it's kind of just like a bare version of Moon music, but I did appreciate that. It's pretty nice. Okay, so next up is Feels Like I'm Falling in Love, but it is... Oh, just kidding. It Feels Like I'm Falling in Live. So I assume this is a live version of Feels Like I'm Falling in Love. Okay, let's listen. So yeah, that was pretty much just a live version of Feels Like I'm Falling in Love. And honestly, okay, I never loved this song, and it definitely wasn't one of my favorites on this album. However, I will say that I feel like it's kind of growing on me, and I think this live version is a little bit more special because it shows the more rawness of a performance. So I think I might even prefer this version over the original, even though it has a little vocal flub at the beginning. I think it's a lot more sincere. And I appreciate that. So yeah, I liked having this live version. It's a nice touch. Okay, so next up is The Karate Kid. And I've seen a lot about this because I know they made a visualizer for it. I think they made a visualizer for everything. But I've seen people talk about this on my Discord and saying that they really like this song. I'm trying my best not to overhype it before I listen to it. But let's do it. Let's listen to it.
As much as I could, as much as I tried, maybe we can make the sky turn blue.
Okay, so why didn't that make the original album? That was so good. That was so sweet. Oh man, there's so much to talk about. The piano work was really nice. The chord progressions were almost Queen-like. The content was interesting and unique. And yeah, honestly, that would be one of my favorites from the album had it been on the original. But even in the extended version, that's really good. I really like that one. Yeah, I can see why a lot of people really liked this one. And it almost has like an old school vibe, like with the strings and everything. It's almost bringing me back to Viva La Vida or Prospects March kind of era, which I really appreciate. And yeah, that's definitely going to be one I'm going to listen to regularly. All right, so next up is We Pray, Be Our Guest, which I, for the life of me, cannot separate that phrase from Beauty and the Beast. I doubt that they're going to have a reference to Beauty and the Beast in this, but we'll see. So I get it. Be our guest meaning sing along with us. It gets rid of the words. Okay, that makes sense. It's not anything spectacular, anything crazy. So I don't have a lot to talk about. I guess just in general, I'm feeling better about this song. I know in my last video, again, which you can check out right here, I mentioned that it just, what it's about and everything, I fully support. I love, and I think that's very necessary. The only issue that I had with the song is that it just lacked a sense of sincerity to me. It just like felt like they were making this to make it, and the idea was more important than the actual song itself. But it's growing on me, and I do appreciate this song for what it is. I appreciate its placement in the album and having this like really nice dancey feel. So yeah, let's move on to the next song. So next song up is Angelsong. It's either Angel's Song or Angel's, I don't know, but I'm going to interpret it as Angel's Song. They just combined them together. Let's listen. Okay, so I haven't listened back to it, and I'm pretty sure it's longer, but that was pretty much that soft piano part at the end of the rainbow emoji song, right? So yeah, I guess the rainbow song is 6 minutes long, and this is 4 minutes long, so it probably just takes out that first section with the cool drums that I like. But yeah, I if this is the same, I don't know if they extended it at all. It's still kind of nice to hear on its own, I guess. Okay. Is it supposed to be like Angel, I'm assuming, from Music of the Spheres, right? The puppet? Because if it's the puppet that they've used in the past, obviously she has this very unique, high vocal line. But it didn't feel as annoying as those vocals, and I guess I never really drew that connection before. So that's Angel singing. Okay. Which honestly brings up a topic that I wanted to discuss before and really hadn't thought about until kind of recently, but with a character by the name of Angel Moon and an album called Moon Music, I guess I assumed that she might be involved more with this album. But we're not done with this extended version, so maybe we'll see more of her. So with that being said, let's listen to Jupiter single version. So I think there wasn't too much of a difference. It did feel shorter, right? Is it missing something? Okay, yeah, the only difference is it doesn't have that extended ending there, so it's supposed to be like a radio friendly version. Got it. Yeah, still one of my favorites on the album. Love hearing it. Brings a smile to my face, and I think I like having it as a single version. Just gets to the point. Makes sense. Next up is Man in the Moon, which I've heard of even before this album was released, so I'm really curious to see what this one sounds like. Let's give it a listen. Okay, so that was pretty good. I have a lot to talk about with this one. It feels very similar to Feels Like I'm Falling in Love in the sense that they have a very similar style. I think overall the song does a lot of things right. I think it's not extremely dynamic, and so it kind of comes across as a little boring, but like I wish there was almost a very big ending, like how Feels Like I'm Falling in Love has a kind of a bigger ending, a different ending, something that you're waiting for as you're listening to it, whereas this one doesn't. I guess the ending is kind of cool with that little whistle thing, which I did appreciate. But yeah, I think this is one that'll for sure grow on me the more I listen to it, but first impression, I do like it. Okay, so next up is I'm a Mountain, but spelled out this time. So we'll see what this one's about. Okay, I really liked that. It felt similar to, goodness, what am I thinking of? It felt similar to this one song that was not released on an album. It was released like as a single. I can't think of it. But it has this like piano and it's very inspirational. And I think the image has this guy who's like either running or has his like fist up or something. I can't remember. If you know what I'm talking about, please comment below. I'm just having a mind blank right now. But anyway, I loved that. That was, man, I don't want to say I liked it more than the original, but I think I did. It just felt very heartfelt, felt very natural, and I could see this being played live. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So there's this one story I read where Coldplay did play this live before the album was released, and somebody said that this was their favorite song that they had heard from Coldplay in a while, and that it's called I Am a Mountain. And I wonder if they played this, the acoustic version of I Am a Mountain, because this feels very real. It feels very sincere. I know I throw that word a lot with this album. But I think I prefer this one over the original. So yeah, I really like this. Alright, so we just have 2 songs left. We have All My Love, live in Dublin. I'm assuming this is just going to be a live version of this song. And then is this supposed to be a wave? Is that what that is? It's gotta be, right? So yeah, let's move on to the next one. All My Love, live in Dublin.
That's all you gotta learn.
Such a good song. Honestly, I think it's interesting when I do these reviews. I have to be extremely critical. Otherwise, everything I say is going to be sunshine and roses. But this song's so good. And hearing it live, I could imagine just being surreal. I think I remember, because we heard this song before it came out, technically, because they played it live. And so I'm assuming this was one of those times in Dublin. And yeah, it's just a sweet song, and never gets old. Having a live version of it's really nice, like a professional live version. And hearing the people singing along, getting it right away. Very cute. Love it. Okay, and last but not least, we have the hand, which is waving. So now we know, obviously I'm assuming this is going to be a wave. So, without further ado, let's listen to the last one. So it was, as expected, a wave. And honestly, okay, it feels very different than what we've heard at live performances. Because if you haven't heard this song before, they've played it live to end their sets. And I think I like this better, this more produced. You can hear a lot more of the bass and the percussion in it, which I do like a lot. It feels very mysterious. It doesn't feel very concrete, kind of leaves the end of this album a little open, which is interesting. And it makes sense because, I mean, there's more Music of the Spheres volumes to come, right? Or I guess just one more volume to come. But yeah, I think it's fitting that they end the album, the official extended version, with a wave, because that's how they've ended their sets. I know there was discussion a while back about whether or not this song would be on the album, and I thought the consensus was that it wouldn't be, and that it would be just something they performed live. So I'm glad to see that it's officially released as a song. That's cool. So with all of that, I really enjoyed this experience of listening to the extended version. Man, just some things that stand out with I Am a Mountain. That one really felt good. I also really enjoyed Karate Kid and Man in the Moon. Very, very interesting song that I think will for sure grow on me. But overall, very positive experience. Thank you so much for watching this video here. I love to talk about this stuff, have a ton of ideas for content in the future, so if you haven't done so yet, definitely subscribe to the channel. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because there's a lot to talk about with this. Not only this, but the full album as a whole. So I look forward to seeing that, reading that, and replying to y'all. But thanks again for watching to the very end. I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, peace.